Thank you for watching, and remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your support.
The rain on the eastern side of this, and some of that even scraping by the Gulf Coast of Florida right now and sending some extra moisture to far northern parts of Florida like Apalachicola over into the Panhandle, or even areas like Panama City about to see a pretty decent shower moving through your area with some stronger wind gusts. We still have ongoing rain, ongoing thunderstorms for the Keys as well as Fort Myers up into Tampa. This is not quite the rain that we were seeing yesterday with all of the lightning and the incredibly torrential downpours, but it is still rain nonetheless. So as we go into the future over the next few days, we do expect potentially some very, very slight strengthening with Fred. We're talking about up to 50 miles per hour prior to making landfall on Monday evening around somewhere in the Florida Panhandle. Exactly where is still to be determined. Just a ton of it pushing in with Fred, but we're also going to be watching out for a stalled boundary really right over the Nashville area, stretching over into the Appalachians, and that's going to allow for some extra lift in the atmosphere along with that tropical moisture going up some of those higher elevations, and that means we could squeeze out these rainfall amounts anywhere from 5 to 8 inches of rain across our highest elevations. That will certainly lead to some flash flooding issues, especially when you look at all of the rain that we've seen in the past week just from those daily afternoon summer thunderstorms. So the track of Fred, pretty it's not set in stone yet, but there's a lot of agreement within the models that it is going to head right into the Florida Panhandle and then across Alabama, stretching up into some of the highest elevations, and that's going to lead the eastern side of this with all of that rain on the eastern side right over those highest elevations. And when that happens, yes, flash flooding is a tremendous concern. So the timing with Fred potentially making landfall sometime on Monday evening before pushing inland throughout the day on Tuesday, continuing into Wednesday. It has been impressive. The Nature Coast all the way down to Tampa and Tampa Bay, but there's some areas that you see in pink. If you match that up with the legend there, that's 12 inches of rain. And I know there's been some reports on the Nature Coast of up to 15 inches of rain. So we have rain falling on this already saturated ground. So anything at this point on top of that is just insult to injury. Now, along the I-10 corridor, it has been an incredibly wet summer so far. Many of these areas well above their average rainfall for the summer, as well as your average yearly rainfall. And we're going to put anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of rain on top of that, and some locally higher amounts than that possible. A flood watch still out for the southern half of Florida, I-95, I-75 for some rain still moving in on top of the rainfall that you saw yesterday. Here's the catch with today. Yes, we still have some thunderstorms and some heavy rain moving through, but a lot of the moisture associated with Fred will stay over the Gulf today, and that is good news. But some of those storms still scraping by areas like Marathon as well as the Keys, all the way up into areas like Miami, seeing on and off showers throughout the day. Flash flood watch in effect for Tallahassee, Apalachicola, Panama City, Destin, the Emerald Coast, all the way over to Pensacola, and even extending inland to areas like southern Alabama as well as southern Georgia. So the rain is really going to be the name of the game with Fred as it gets a little bit closer. 2 weeks or so in Florida, the Nature Coast has really been the rainfall winner just to the north of Tampa and the Tampa Bay area, where we've seen some spots upwards of 12 inches of rain, even some spots as high as 15 inches of rain. I think thankfully the Nature Coast is going to miss the bulk of the rainfall from Fred, but look, 3 to 5 inches of rain moving right into Destin as well as Panama City Beach down to Apalachicola, and that's going to be in addition to potentially 2 to 4 feet of storm surge that we see in some of these areas. We do have a flood watch out still for areas in South Florida. We do still have some rain on top of all of the rainfall that we saw yesterday. The bulk of the rainfall, you just heard Carl talking about this, is just offshore in the Gulf as Fred continues to try to get its act together as it pushes to the north. We also do have a flash flood watch out for areas like Tallahassee, Apalachicola, Panama City, and a lot of the Emerald Coast. But look how this stretches inland. This is for this evening all the way through Tuesday. So we're talking about multiple days of rain here and some very heavy tropical rain, southern Alabama, even into southwestern Georgia up to the Albany area. So we could see anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of rain, but I would not be surprised if we see some locally over that, where we could see many of the very same hard-hit areas affected by Grace, although just the elevation of Hispaniola, some of the higher mountains, will keep the wind intensity in check, but it's not going to keep the water in check. And that's really our big concern for some flooding and some mudslides and some landslides in the Dominican Republic as well as Haiti. Right now, Grace, a lot of scattered convection, a lot of scattered thunderstorms across this area. It's not very organized, and it has slowed down quite a bit from what we saw yesterday as it moved over the Leeward Islands, right now bringing torrential rainfall to areas like Puerto Rico. Again, it does take that track right over those higher elevations.